Hey everybody, it's Lon.TV, and it's time for your weekly wrap-up, and I want to begin first by thanking our newest Patreon supporter, Jimmy Poons. I want to thank Jimmy and all of the regular contributors to the channel, and all of those of you who watch on a regular basis too. All those things do contribute to channel growth, and we are continuing to grow. So what did we do this week? Well, I looked at the Kodak PixPro SP360 4K camera. This is one of those 360-degree cameras, and it's been fun to watch this. This is a very new segment of the consumer electronics business. Nobody has cracked this code yet for consumers. So I think in the next year, I bet you we'll start seeing some really amazing stuff in this VR 360 space, because at the moment, nobody has really solved the issues that surround, sorry, pardon the pun, these cameras at the moment, including how lousy all of their software is. I'm really eager to see what comes out of all of our favorite brands this year with it. Check out the review though, it's a cool looking camera. We also looked at the LaCie rugged USB Type-C hard drive that's been on my list for a while to get done. I also did something a little different, which actually was pretty well received by all of you, where I found 5 things that I thought might be fun for older geeks like myself. I'm going to be 40 in about 10 days, if you can believe that. I can't. So I thought maybe I could help out some of the folks out there who are looking for some gifts to find for someone who's very hard to shop for like me. So you can check out that and see what I like for the holidays. I also took a look at the HyperX Cloud Stinger. This is a relatively inexpensive headset for gamers. It works with game consoles and the PC too. Got a lot more coming up this week too, so stay tuned. We've always got some cool things going on. And now it's time for a few things that are on my mind this week, and the first involves USB Type-C compatibility. And Stephen Foskett wrote a great post, which I've linked down below, that I think all of you should check out, because if you are the go-to person in your circle of friends and family for tech issues, undoubtedly this is going to be you answering these questions over USB Type-C once these devices get more prevalent. Check this out. He's got 4 different cables that all look the same, yet are functioning quite different from each other. So you've got a Thunderbolt 3 cable, which uses the same USB Type-C connector, but its wiring is completely different. You've got the USB Type-C cable with the high power delivery, the 100-watt power delivery. They got another one that runs at a slower speed with less power. And then they've got the regular USB 2.0 cable that is also in a USB Type-C housing. So one size no longer fits all here, and I'm sure that all of us, including those of us who are tech savvy, will be dealing with confusion related to this standard for quite a while, and it really is driving me nuts. And I've talked about this before, but you should all check out that post and share it and add it to your bookmarks, because it will be helpful down the road. And I'm also excited because Apple did announce their new MacBook Pros this week. They've got some cool gee whiz new features on there, and I'm excited because this is the MacBook I've been using for the last 4.5 years. This is a MacBook Pro Retina. It's actually in pretty good shape considering its age. The keyboard is getting a little wacky on it, but this thing is in use probably 18 hours a day. I use it all day long at my day job, and also at least up until about 8 to 10 months ago, I was editing every video for this YouTube channel on it. So this thing really has been the tool that has launched a lot of things in my life, and I'm not going to get rid of it. I think it's going to be a good editing station when the new one comes out, but I've been very much eager to upgrade my laptop because it wasn't able to edit video as efficiently as my 5K iMac was, which has a faster processor. So finally I can get something faster in MacBook form. But what's been interesting is watching Apple's real slow development cycle here on their laptops, to the point where this MacBook coming out is going to be about the same speed as a computer on the PC side you could have bought about a year ago. It's still running with a Skylake processor, while all the other PC laptops will soon be moving over to the 7th generation Intel chip. So this computer will be fast for doing Mac things, but if you were to do a head-to-head comparison against some of the PC laptops out there that cost the same, you're going to see the PCs once again eclipse the Mac. So it's been interesting to see Apple really putting a focus on their industrial design and their case design more so than performance. It'll be good enough for me, but I think a lot of folks are going to be disappointed with the specs when these come out, because they really aren't as cutting edge as you would expect an Apple machine to be. The touch bar does look interesting to me, especially on a small screen laptop, because there are things that I do in Final Cut that would be nice to be able to have a secondary display, even a small strip of a secondary display for navigating around different portions of the interface. So I thought that was kind of a neat thing, especially because on the timeline I can very quickly zip back and forth with that. But generally I edit on a desktop computer now, so that feature will be lost on me unless I'm actually out in the field. So I'm not all that excited about the touch bar. I could have done without it, but I'm getting a new MacBook finally that can keep up with my video demand, and that is what I am looking forward to most, and I will of course review it when it does come out. And now it's time for some Q&A, and I got an interesting question here from a little older who's wondering why I never cover Firefox, because a little older here says they think that it is the most common browser out there. And this is really, for me, a matter of personal preference. Chrome is the browser that I use on a regular basis. I get very frustrated with Chrome on low-end PCs that I test because it doesn't do well with YouTube, and we've talked a lot about that on many of the videos I've done for low-end PCs. In fact, I did a video comparing Chrome, Firefox, and the Microsoft Edge browser for high-def video on low-end PCs, which I'll link down below in the video description, because I did use Firefox there, and Edge bested everyone on a low-end PC for high-def and 4K video, believe it or not. But I wanted to go out and see exactly what the market share was for Firefox, because I don't really know many people that use Firefox still, but apparently a lot of you might use it right now to watch this channel. So I went out to StatCounter, which is a website that is often referenced in many media reports on global browser share, and they have their September report on their site here, and it shows that Chrome gets a 62% share of the browser market, which was totally surprising to me, because I thought IE and Edge would certainly be the ones we'd see the most market share for, because they're all the default on Windows. And in fact, when you install or buy a Windows PC, IE or Edge is usually front and center on you. As you can see here, Chrome really dominates the market, with Firefox second place at 15%. Now, 15% of the global browser share is still a lot of people using Firefox, but I was really shocked to see what a disparity there was between Chrome and everybody else on the list. They've really dominated everything, and they're really not the fastest browser out there, but it's just what I use, and that's typically the easiest thing for me to display in a video. And Carlos from Puerto Rico writes in about VPN software. Do I support using it? Yes, no, and why? And the answer is definitely yes, especially if you are accessing public Wi-Fi on a regular basis, because somebody in a coffee shop who's on the same open Wi-Fi access point can sniff packets out of the air, and for insecure sites, they can actually steal the cookie that you've logged in with and impersonate you on their own browser. I did a video on this a couple of years ago for a Connecticut site that I write for, and it was scary actually how easy this was to basically just take over somebody's Yahoo Mail session, which is probably why it was so insecure to begin with, and just take it over without having their password at all. Even things like Amazon and other sites that were not at the time SSL encrypting were basically open to the world when you were on an open access point. But even with a secured site, having a VPN service on a open Wi-Fi access point still makes sense, because all of your traffic and all the sites you're requesting are also encrypted back to the VPN service. So if you are in a coffee shop without a VPN, if you go to google.com, people will see that you're going to Google, not that you are actually what you're doing on Google, but they can see that you're making requests of that site. If you are on a VPN service, all of your traffic gets funneled securely through them, so all they'll see is that connection between you and the VPN. So it does make sense, especially if you're traveling and you're using a lot of those Starbucks access points and whatnot, to have a VPN service enabled on your computer just to lock things down and keep it secure. For home use, I really like OpenVPN. It's an open format, of course. I'm going to probably do a video soon on a Raspberry Pi solution for creating your own OpenVPN server. There's a little script you can run, install it, and you're up and running very simply. Some routers have it built in, so the Asus routers we've looked at earlier have that protocol built in, as well as many Synology routers and NAS devices. I think QNAPs also have an OpenVPN server installed too. And those are very secure. They require certificates and some degree of setup complexity to get working, but you're able to access your own home network securely while you're away from home. And that can be very useful for getting into your file shares and getting to your home computers to access them and whatnot as well. So VPNs can be very useful, and I hope to explore more of them in the future. Now, this last question is kind of a fun one. So in my review of holiday gift ideas for aging geeks and gamers, I had suggested picking up old sealed wax packs of trading cards, things like baseball cards and movie cards and whatnot, because they are very cheap on eBay. And for older gamers and geeks like myself who used to collect these things as kids, getting a sealed, never opened pack of baseball cards is kind of a fun thing. So one of the things that I showed was a pack of Return of the Jedi cards that I opened in that video. And all the cards made by Topps and many other manufacturers back in the day included a stick of chewing gum like this one. This is 33 years old, if not older than that. And a lot lot of folks wanted to have me eat that on camera, which I was not going to do. I value my health these days because I want to keep making videos for all of you. But I did find a channel that does this kind of stuff, and it's called Steve1989. You got to check this guy out. So what he does is he collects old military rations and he opens them up. And in many cases, if it looks like it's something he can eat, he's pretty much an expert on when things have gone bad, he will eat them, including things that are 50 years old or older. He's actually eaten. And it's not even like a gross out channel. It's really fascinating. A little bit of history along with some entertainment of this guy telling you what this stuff tastes and smells like sometimes. Really fun channel. You will spend hours on this, especially if you are a history or military history buff like I am sometimes. Really fun stuff. Definitely worth checking out. And speaking of age, a lot of folks have been writing in recently about the fact that this channel feels like something out of the 90s to them. And I think these are younger viewers who are seeing some older guy like me talking about technology in an enthusiastic way. And I think the fact that I do a lot of these hard cuts like this without any fancy transitions or fancy camera work might lend itself to a more old school feel. I do it primarily because it's more efficient. If I had to edit as much as some of these other channels do, I would never get anything up. So that's why everything just kind of looks like these flat images here of boards and things sitting on the desk here like so. I also think there's actually some value to presenting things the way I do, because I really show you what the stuff looks like when you take it out of the box without any fancy camera work or depth of field or anything like that. But I'm just curious if this channel feels old school to you, and if that's a good thing or a bad thing. And of course, I'm asking this question surrounded by old 80s and 90s stuff back there, but I'm just curious. Love to hear what your thoughts are on it. I don't plan to change anything anytime soon, but I'm just trying to be mindful of how people interpret what I'm presenting. Is it weird to have all this new stuff presented around all this old stuff? Curious what your thoughts are on that. So this week I got a couple of things on the horizon. We've got the Neo Z83-4 mini PC from Minix, and it just came in today. I've been testing it out a little bit, so we'll be looking at that. It's a 4 GB of RAM, 32 GB of storage, Cherry Trail Windows PC. I think it's like $120, $130, so not all that expensive, and I'm eager to see how it functions in a home theater environment too. It's got a big Wi-Fi antenna on it also, which gives it good Wi-Fi range, so we'll check that out. Hopefully going to get to this Lenovo monitor as well. This is a 75 hertz monitor that I think also sells for about $130 or so. I'm trying to figure out how to review the Echo Dot, because I might just do a head-to-head with the Google Home when it gets here in the next 2 weeks or so. But if I get some time, I might do a review on the Echo Dot separately. I covered Alexa in the past. It hasn't changed all that much since I've last reviewed it, so I might just wait for that Google Home to come and we'll do a comparative video. And soon, and as soon as these arrive, I'll definitely be getting these up on the channel. I got the Xiaomi Air coming in, which is a relatively inexpensive but really cool-looking Core M-powered Windows laptop. It's only available in China and Asia, but GearBest let me buy one, so I'm going to be getting that in shortly. I also bought the GPD Win, and I believe that one will be coming in soon as well. And that is a little Windows-based gaming handheld similar to the GPD XD that I love, and we'll see how well a Windows device can function in a small gaming handheld. And I'm bringing this image back because I finally have some good motivation to get this little PC test bench built, because PNY just sent over a bunch of GPUs that we can use to compare one class of GPU to another. So I think we'll be able to, I have a 1080 in my gaming machine over there, and I think they sent over a 1060 and a 1070, I think. So we'll check out all of those and see what the the incremental improvements are as you move up the ladder on GPUs. I'm not sure if it's going to be this week, but it's definitely going to get up on the priority list, so be on the lookout for that. Be kind of a fun project too to have a PC that we'll just have out in the open here, so I can explain how easy it is really to build one of these things if you are desiring to do so. If you want to help the channel, you can go to Lon.TV/Patreon and make a monthly contribution to the channel. We also have my fan funding set up at Lon.TV, and Gary Johnson has been great about contributing via there every month, so I want to thank Gary for that. And you can also join him and make a one-time contribution there. We have our Plex affiliate page at Lon.TV/Plex. Just signing up for a Plex account helps the channel, no payment required. And I got a new thing to check out on Amazon. They have a new gift finder set up for the holiday season at Lon.TV/gift finder, and this is really useful actually. It's not an advertisement. I do have an affiliate link there, but they have set up a really easy to navigate consumer electronics gift finder. You can specify price or type of product you're looking for. So if you are looking to buy gadgets for friends and family, it's a very organized way of going about it. So definitely check that out on the link below. below. If you want to engage with the channel, you can join my email list at Lon.TV/email. Head over to the Facebook page at Lon.TV/Facebook. I am posting stuff there all the time, so definitely follow me there. Lon.TV/Reddit for the Reddit page, which is not going too well. None of us have really been spending a lot of time in there, but I am going to try to do more. It's just not a lot of activity. And you can go to the store at Lon.TV/store. And that's going to do it for this week's weekly wrap-up. Thank you all for watching and your continued viewership. And I'm got a lot of stuff to do here. I'll do my best to keep cranking out content as often as possible. This is Lon.TV, and thanks for watching. This channel is brought to you by my Patreon supporters, including gold level supporter Eric. If you want to help the channel, you can by contributing as little as $1 a month. Head over to Lon.TV/Patreon to learn more. And don't forget to subscribe. Visit Lon.TV/S.